I felt like I grew up so quickly. I was 21 at 9 years old. Yeah. I was like, this is it. And then when it was all taken away from me, I was like, never again. And that's why I'm in that like position of like, everything's just, the sky is falling. Like in Chicken Little, you know, and he's like freaking out and nobody else has any idea what he's talking about. That's me, I'm Chicken Little.
Today I'm joined by singer and actress Becky G, who is going to be talking with me and the Manhattan Girls Chorus about some of the issues facing young women today.
Real stuff.
Thank you for joining us. Manhattan Girls Chorus, there's a lot of you, so we're going to be cycling you in and out in groups of 3 or 4.
Everyone will join the party.
Yeah, but this is our first group.
I'm Madeline and I'm from Westchester. I was wondering how you handle knowing that there are tons of little girls out there watching you and being inspired by you, and how you take that and continue inspiring people while knowing that everyone is sort of watching, because it must be really stressful, but you do a really wonderful job of doing it.
Thanks. I don't know if there's a secret to it. It's just you gotta be yourself. And I like to say, like, you know, it's not about being the perfect role model because nobody's perfect, and I like to view myself more as like a real model. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna learn as we go in life, and it is a lot harder when, you know, you're exposed to a much bigger percentage of the whole world compared to the average person. But if you have your priorities straight and you have good people around you and you're just sure of yourself, and the last thing is accepting that not everybody's gonna like you.
I have a quick question just to do with, you know, your support system. Your family are clearly a huge support. Your mother, you've mentioned a bunch. Are there any female singers who have been kind of mentors for you, or anyone who's kind of inspired you directly?
Definitely. I mean, J-Lo. Hey. I feel like Jennifer Lopez, for sure, in every aspect of her career, whether it was her movies or just her style of dance when she was like a fly girl in Living Color, or the fact that, you know, when she became a mom, you know, like every aspect of her life was so inspiring to me because I was able to see myself in that and know that anything is possible. If I want to have a fashion line one day, I can do that. And if I want to have a restaurant one day, I can do that. And if I want to have lots of babies, I can do that, you know? She really showed me like the sky is the limit.
I wanted to know about your experience being a Latina in the industry. I'm from Argentina, I'm also a Latina, but
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So like, how was that experience for you, not only being a woman, but the obstacles that came with that?
For me, it's really interesting because I felt like I noticed it more when I went into Spanish music than when I was making my English music. And I think that's because of our culture. I think in Latin culture, a lot of the women are told what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. The ones born here in the States were a little bit more rebellious. But once I started traveling to different places into Latin America, and they would want to talk about, you know, what so-and-so wore on stage or what so-and-so said in her lyrics, AKA me, I was just very taken back because I was like, oh wow, like they're a little bit behind as far as seeing women as equals to men. But where I got very fortunate is the male artists in the Latin industry, and the newer ones coming up, and the ones that have been, you know, doing really well right now have been super supportive of my career and of a lot of other women that are trying in Latin music and succeeding in it. They acknowledge us as equals, they collaborate with us as equals, and, you know, they support us as equals, and I think that's where we're getting a lot of the support, and I think that's why we're breaking down a lot of barriers right now as Latina women in Latin music. So I would say it's been harder in Spanish music than it was in my English music, for sure.
Hi, I'm Michelle, I'm 20, and I live in Queens. My question actually relates more to dealing with the obstacle of coming from a certain economic background and still pursuing your dream. One of the really amazing things about this chorus is that every single girl here does what they get to do for free. We get to do it for free, and that's honestly, if our director Michelle had not set it up that way, a lot of us would not be here, and we wouldn't have had the amazing opportunities we've had. And so what's your advice to people who actually don't get it that easy, who aren't really as fortunate to be a part of something like this, where they get the experience they want for free? What's your advice on how to get your foot in that door?
I mean, look, I started in music with nothing. When I was 9 years old, we lost our home, and when I tell you, girl, it was like McDonald's every day, because that's the only way you can feed 6 of us sufficiently. I understand completely what it's like to be discriminated, one, for where you come from, what you look like, and not only on top of that, but the truth is, getting jobs when you are a person of color from any kind of background, it's like, it's hard. It is so hard. You don't get paid the same. You know what I mean? And then if you're a girl, if you're a woman on top of that, you know what I mean? All I can say is, like, my faith has been one of the greatest things for me in those tough times, and just trusting in that. This is like that blessing. You are being given this because you deserve it and because you can capitalize on it. You know what I mean? Like, when I was given an opportunity when I had nothing, I was like, how do I make this one opportunity into 10, into 20, into movies, into brand deals, into, oh my God, I'm a Power Ranger. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter, and any of that doesn't matter, because there is a plan that is taking place, for sure.
That was an amazing answer.
Thanks.
And sometimes, like, adversity can feed into your inspiration. And I think also every woman has to remember that their story is both individual and completely relatable for other people. And that should be part of, you know, what you're trying to get out there.
Definitely.
Hi, my name is Bria and I'm from Brooklyn. My question is, me personally, I get really overwhelmed with like friends or like college and just everyday life. And I'm just wondering, what have you learned about yourself through this process, and how have you blossomed as a person?
I think it's like my tolerance for the BS, as we call it. My tolerance for, you know, negativity, and for accepting, you know, people telling me things. It's like out the window now. My fuse is like so much shorter. I never used to be this girl that said no. I was never this person that, you know, had limits, and now I have my limits. And so it's like learning to navigate through those feelings and getting help. You know, I have an amazing team, and like it never goes away, so you're gonna eventually have to learn how to deal with it. And when you can find that way of dealing with it for you, whether it's like meditation, or whether it's like working out, or eating healthier, or speaking to a therapist, like, there are so many options and so many different routes you can take to like a healthier like headspace, because feeling overwhelmed is like the worst feeling.
The reason why I also feel overwhelmed is because I criticize myself a lot.
Right.
And having to deal with, you know, what other people think of me, and it just gets, that's when it really starts. It gets into like this big ball of worries and stuff like that, which is, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a big ball of worries always on my shoulder. You can ask anybody that knows me, but I feel like the first thing you gotta do is accept yourself for who you are, and how you think, and how you feel things, and how you sing, and how you look. And there's nothing wrong with needing a little bit of more time to learn things. There's nothing wrong with needing a little bit more help than someone else. And you're never gonna be someone else's idea of good enough. But you have to know that you are. And when you know that about yourself, then everything else just becomes a little bit lighter, and it doesn't feel like you're carrying around so much baggage, because shit gets heavy. It gets so heavy. And you're like, I can't run, I wanna fly. But I'm just dragging this stuff along, and it's these balls of worries that you don't even need. You don't need them, because you're amazing. You are you, and that's truer than true, as Dr. Seuss says, you know?
You guys did a great job.
Yeah,
Great questions. Incredible answers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
No,
to
this has
talk
been
to us.
amazing.
So when is that album coming out?
Don't ask me. I'm tired of saying soon. Especially my fans. Oh my God, please.
I'm sure.
Don't. I hope watch. They're gonna watch it and they're gonna comment on it and be like, true. I've been told her. I thought her album was coming out in 2016. She knows I deserve it. They're hilarious.